Hi guys, welcome back. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is, I don't know. Hi. Someone's throwing shade on my game. He's trying to talk over me. Anyway, yes, today is all about haggling, bartering, negotiating, whatever you want to call it. It's a skill that you definitely need in Ghana. When we first came to Ghana, I was really bad at it. Like if I was to buy something and the person says to me, oh, it's 10 cedis, I feel like, okay, mate, shall I just give them 10 cedis, or okay, maybe 9? Now, after having been ripped off so many times, now I'm like, okay, how much did you say it was? 10 cedis? Nope, I'll give you 3 cedis, and I negotiate from there. You will be surprised how much profit sometimes there are in some of the things that people sell. They look at your face first before they give you the price. So often, it's not that you're trying to, how can I put it? It's not that you're trying to not allow them to get something. It's just that a lot of the time you're being ripped off, whether you like it or not. You are being ripped off. I always say it, and I've said it time and time again. It's not that you're not going to get ripped off. It's by how much you're going to get ripped off. You're foreign, so therefore you're not going to necessarily pay the price that a lot of Ghanaians pay for certain things. So you have got to know how to haggle. It is really, really, really important. Usually my rule of thumb is whatever price they tell me, I normally slash it in half or even less than half, and then I kind of go from there, because at the end of the day, no one will sell you anything if they're not going to make something on it. They will not sell it to you for a loss. So if eventually they sell the item to you, it is usually because they've got something out of it, and that is what the fair price is. So, you know, it works with taxis, with anything. Always haggle the price. The only place you can't really haggle a price is perhaps in some shops. The price is, you see it written on whatever it is that you're buying, and that's what the price is. But in like the local shops or on roadside, that kind of thing, you definitely can haggle. There is space to haggle, and there's nothing wrong with haggling. It is part of the vibrancy of what Ghana is. No price is a fixed price. There's always room for maneuver. Especially if you're buying multiples or something, you know. I've done it many times where I thought, okay, well, I'm buying 5 of these, so give me a good price. And you know, the person, then it turns into there's a little back and forth thing that goes on, which is quite nice sometimes. You know, it's like, oh, but it's too much. And then you two are like, oh, please, it's too much. You're selling it for me too much. Reduce it so that I can buy it, and then I'll be coming to buy from you all the time. You know, there's like this show kind of thing that goes on when you start bartering. It's quite funny, and the more and more you get used to doing it, the more you understand the perspective that they're coming from as well. It's really, it can actually be quite entertaining, because you find out a lot of stuff, and they'll start telling you stuff that, oh, but this is the price. I go to the market and I buy it for this, you know, that's why. Or sometimes, you know, like we'll be buying grilled plantain, and it'll be like 1 cedi for 1 grilled plantain, and be like, oh, why is it so small? Come, oh, we'll say tunusu, meaning add another one. You know, we're buying like 5 pieces, and then they'll start laughing, and then they might add another one for us or something like that. So, you know, it's really like getting a repertoire. I can't talk. You know what I'm saying? Repertoire. No, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's about really getting a good relationship, and what you'll find is that the person will then become soft to you, especially if you go back to them again and you buy from them. They're like, oh, I know you, and then you start building up a bit of a, I'm saying that same word again and I can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about. I especially know it when I'm going to the art centre, especially, and I have to negotiate. A lot of the time they know me in there because they recognise places quite quickly. So if you've been to the art centre a couple of times, they will recognise you, and then you start bartering with them, and they'll be like, oh, but the last time you came here, you know, we paid this, I'm giving it to a good price, I know you won't pay over the price, so you know, I want to give it to you a good price. Then they start coming out with all these stories and telling you stories, and you also have to bring your stories and then see whose story is stronger, and then you negotiate from there. It's really funny. But I actually love doing it at the art centre. Not so much probably in Mokala, because when I go to Mokala market, which is very rare, I find it to be too much of a stressful thing, and that's not a place I enjoy going, to be honest with you. It's just too much for me. But I don't mind like the art centre, which is as close as I'll get to the market, because the art centre is a bit more calmer in there, and people recognise you more, and you know where the stalls are that you normally shop at. So I like the art centre. So when I go to the art centre, they kind of know me, and so they'll always try and you know, try and give me prices on things and say, oh, come to my shop, come to this. It's just about building relationship. Basically, the point of what I'm saying in all of this is you have to learn to negotiate. Don't feel that, oh, you know what, oh, I can't negotiate. You have got to negotiate. If you don't negotiate, you will be the loser every time, believe me. Okay, there have been times, I'll tell you a story. I needed some slippers one time, and we were driving down the road, and I saw this person. She was carrying like slippers, flip-flops, I'm talking about the chaliwotes, on her head. And I thought, okay, you know what, I need some, let me pull her over and see. And so she was like, oh, it's 10 cedis. I was like, hey, that's expensive. I was like, nah, come on, you do it for five. And I was trying to get this woman to go to 5. She was adamant, nope, if she gives it to me for 5, she will be losing out. She can't sell it. So I was like, okay. In the end, we settled upon, I think, 8, but she wanted 9, but I gave her 8. And I was like, I felt like, you know, okay, this is all right. Yesterday, I went into a Maxmart supermarket for like 5 minutes. I came out and my husband had bought a pair of slippers, the chaliwotes. I said, how much did you buy it for? He was like, 4 cedis. I was like, 4 cedis? How did I just pay someone 9 cedis and no 8 cedis, and then you just bought chaliwotes? Your feet are bigger than mine, and you've just paid 4 cedis. Do you see how it works? You can get ripped off. So even though this woman was like, she was adamant with me that, you know, there's no money in it for her, and I paid her the money and I got ripped off. It's part of it. It's part of Ghana life, you know. So next time I go and buy chaliwotes, I know roughly what I'm going to pay because I've been ripped off once by it. And that's how you learn to know a lot of the prices. You'll get ripped off a couple of times, and then you'll know what the real price is because you'll hear someone else talking and say, oh, I only paid 2 cedis for that. Meanwhile, you paid 50 cedis. So you've got to know how to negotiate. You've got to know how much things are worth and understand the currency very, very fast, because you will get ripped off if you don't understand the currency. If you keep converting back to the dollar or the pound or whatever, you will definitely get ripped off because the money will seem small to you. So get to know your money very quickly and haggle, negotiate away. And that is all I've got to say for today. Guys, if there is anything you want me to talk about, please do let me know and I'll do my best to do a video on it. Also, if you haven't purchased my book yet, please feel free to go ahead and do that. Have a look. It's got some really great tips on getting ready to move. Lots of information in there, some stuff that I probably haven't shared on here as well. So please do that. Yeah, go ahead and purchase on my website. I'll put a link on here again for you if you can't remember where it is. And that's it. Until next time, guys, I'm out.